Hello dear students, welcome back to EduHunt video lecture series. In the previous session we have discussed about the introduction of sensory system. Sensory system consists of sense organs, network of various specialized organs called sense organs, and these sense organs have in connection with the nervous system, and they have receptors which receive the signals, and transmit the signals to the site of action. This is called signal transduction. Anyway, the stimuli, whether they are external or internal, will be received by the organs or the receptors, especially the receptors. Receptors are like antenna. They receive the signals. These signals are transmitted to the site of action. These, based on their location, body has sense organs of three different types. One is exteroceptors. Exteroceptors, the name indicating that external stimuli perceiving. External stimuli, they are in direct contact with the external environment, like nose, like ears, like eyes. They have in contact with the environmental signals. If there is a light, it directly falls on the retina. So there is a connection and there is a direct contact between the external stimulus and the sense organ. This kind of receptors or organs are called exteroceptors. For example, nose, eyes, tongue, ears, and even skin. Skin also considered as an exteroceptor, like receptor. Interoceptor. Interoceptors are the organs which receive the signals, which receive the stimuli present inside, like blood, composition of blood, changes in the composition of blood, and even contraction or the concentration of the carbon dioxide, even hunger, thirst, and also asphyxia. These are internal changes that occur in the internal organs. These sensory organs are associated with the internal environment, internal body environment, like it is associated with blood, different organs, internal organs like heart, lungs, all these structures. And third is proprioceptor. Proprioceptors are in connection with muscle fibers, tendons, muscles, and even connective tissue, which perceive the tension or the pressure exerted during maintenance of the equilibrium, and orientations of the body. If we sit in a posture, if we are in a sitting posture, our muscles, the tendons, connective tissue that align in one way. If we stand, if we move, according to our act or according to the action of the body, the muscles, the tendons, they respond and they react. In human body, 5 different types of exteroceptors are present. We know those 5 include, exteroceptors are the external organs, external sense organs that have indirect contact with the atmosphere or with the surrounding environment. One is the skin, eye, nose, ear and tongue. Skin is for touch. Touch. It is a sensory organ of touch. Eye for vision. Nose, it is an olfactory receptor, that is olfactory organ that responds to the smell. Ears are మనకి తెలిసింది ఇయర్ అనగానే హియరింగ్ వినడం మాత్రమే, బట్ దే ఆర్ అ గుడ్ బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ ఆర్గాన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద బాడీ. ఈవెన్ దే రెగ్యులేట్ ద బాడీ బ్యాలెన్స్. టంగ్ మనకు బాగా తెలుసు, టేస్ట్ రిసెప్టార్స్, టేస్ట్ సెన్స్ ఆర్గాన్ ఆఫ్ ద టేస్ట్. Let us see the cutaneous receptors. Cutaneous means skin, related to the upper skin. The skin envelope, the skin covers the entire body, whole body, and it is considered of tango receptors of taste. And numerous sensory papillae that is present on the tongue, that is they are found on the skin. Tango receptors are nothing but present on the tongue. The papillae present on the tongue. Taste buds antam kada. So our receptors ani tongue మీద ఉంటాయి. But overall the body consists of several receptors. They are present especially resided in the dermis of the skin. They receive and respond to the stimuli of touch. ఇలా టచ్ అవగానే మనకి టచ్ అయ్యిందని తెలుస్తుంది, గుచ్చగానే మనకి పెయిన్ తెలుస్తుంది. అండ్ ఈవెన్ ప్రెషర్, మనం నొక్కాము, డిఫరెంట్ ప్రెషర్స్ ఉంటాయి. అలాగే కోల్డ్, హీట్, టెంపరేచర్లోనే కోల్డ్ అండ్ హీట్, హై టెంపరేచర్, లో టెంపరేచర్. మనకి టెంపరేచర్ హైగా ఉంటే మనం ఏం చేస్తాము, వెంటనే ఏసీలు ఫ్యాన్లు ఆన్ చేసుకుంటాం టు మెయింటైన్ అవర్ బాడీ, టు రెగ్యులేట్ అవర్ బాడీ. అలాగే కూల్, మరీ తక్కువ టెంపరేచర్స్ ఉంటే వి కవర్ అవర్ బాడీ. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద యాక్షన్స్ by which our body or we respond to the changes in the environment, because these environmental changes are received by the receptors first తీసుకొని సెన్స్ ఆర్గాన్స్తో రెస్పాండ్ అవుతాయి. అండ్ దీస్ సెన్సరీ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ ఆఫ్ స్కిన్ రిసీవ్ ఇంపల్సెస్ ఫ్రమ్ ద నర్వ్ ఎండింగ్స్. మనం ఇంతకు ముందు చెప్పుకున్నట్టు sensory organs ante they are not an isolated structures, they are not an isolated or independent structure. There must be a coordination between the sense organ, the nervous system, and even the chemical coordination, the release of secretions by the glands, whether they are exocrine glands or endocrine glands. The coordination must be there among all these structures. The sense organs, the receptors, nervous system, and also the glandular system, whether they are external or internal, exocrine or endocrine glands. There must be a coordination, then only our body maintains. There are different types of these sensory structures. First is the skin or the integumentary system. స్కిన్ అని సింపుల్గా చెప్పడం కంటే ఇంటెగ్యుమెంటరీ సిస్టమ్ అంటే కరెక్ట్, బికాజ్ స్కిన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ అ సెపరేట్ ఎంటిటీ. ద స్కిన్ అలాంగ్ విత్ ద గ్లాండ్స్ లైక్ స్వెట్ గ్లాండ్స్, సెబేషియస్ గ్లాండ్స్, మెయిబూమియన్ గ్లాండ్స్, జీస్ గ్లాండ్స్, టైసన్ గ్లాండ్స్, ఇలాంటి రకరకాల గ్లాండ్స్ అండ్ దేర్ సెక్రీషన్స్ together along with the skin form the integumentary system. The part of integumentary system is the skin. Skin has 3 layers, we can say broadly 2 layers, that is epidermis and dermis. Beneath the dermis there is another layer called the hypodermis. Let us see the epidermis. Epidermis is made up of 5 thin layers, and there is no vascular supply to the epidermis. That is, స్కిన్ కి మనకి పోషణ అంటూ ఉంటాం, నరిష్మెంట్ ఈజ్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ప్రతి సెల్కి కూడా న్యూట్రిషన్ అనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్ టు మెయింటైన్ ఆర్ టు ఫంక్షనల్ రెగ్యులేషన్, ఫంక్షనల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్. మనం ఫంక్షనల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ చూస్తే సెల్కి సెల్యులర్ ఫంక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. సెల్యులర్ ఫంక్షన్స్ అంటే సెల్స్ they aggregate into tissues and these tissues they form the organs. ఈ ఆర్గాన్స్లో ఉండే యూనిట్ ఏది అంటే సెల్. ఈ సెల్ కనుక రెస్పాండ్ కాకపోతే ఆర్గాన్ ఫంక్షన్ విల్ బీ లాస్ట్. సో ఆర్గాన్స్ ఫంక్షన్ సరిగా జరగాలి అంటే ద సెల్స్ మస్ట్ బీ హెల్దీ. ఆ హెల్దీగా సెల్స్ ఉండాలంటే దే మస్ట్ బీ నరిష్డ్ టైమ్ టు టైమ్. But the epidermal layer is not nourished. It doesn't has the supply of blood. Supply of vascular supply is lacking to epidermis. Then how the skin or the outer layer of the skin gets its nourishment? It depends on dermis. The dermal layer which has vascular connections will help the epidermis in nourishment. Anyway, we can see the picture. The picture clearly gives an idea of epidermis and dermis. Epidermis is a thin layer and endodermis is a thick layer. In the endodermis, the hair follicles are situated deeply in the dermis region, epidermis and dermis. In the dermis region only, the vascular supply, that is blood supply is there, vascular connections are there, hair follicles are there and various glands and their endings also supply to the dermis of the skin. First of all, skin is said to be the organ of or the sense organ of touch అని చెప్తాం కాబట్టి tactile receptors skin మీద ఉంటాయి. And these receptors are present on the naked endings of sensory nerve fibers. మనకి nerves or neurons different types ఉన్నాయి. One is the efferent or the sensory nerves, second is motor nerves and third is mixed nerves. అని మూడు రకాల nerves ఉన్నాయి. sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves అని రకరకాల nerves ఉన్నాయి. And these nerve fibers, sensory nerves, fibers of the sensory nerves, that is the endings of the sensory nerve fibers on the hair follicle ante they are deeply situated in the dermis. Just now we have seen the hair follicle. This is the hair follicle region of the hair and that comes in contact with the with some object, that is the layers of the hypodermis, and extensively branched. This is called arborization. Branching is called arborization. And endings of sensory nerves, the nerve fibers, are found in the papillae of the dermis. Papillae are the projections of the dermis. Papillae are the projections that are found in the dermis in the form of papillae, and these endings are very small sized encapsulated structure called the sensory corpuscles. These are the encapsulated structures and these hair follicles have some papillae. They are infolded in the follicle. Hair follicle and even hair follicle receptors are there shown in the diagram. And then these endings, that is the sensory nerve fiber endings, are very they have in connection with the encapsulated follicles. Those which are cylindrical and sensitive to touch are called the Meissner's corpuscles. They are cylindrical in nature and also they are sensitive to touch. Sensitive to touch, called the Meissner's corpuscles. Meissner's corpuscles present in the skin. They have sensory nerve endings. They have sensory nerve endings and they have in connection with the papilla, dermal papilla. And their number is much more in the more sensitive regions. What are the more sensitive regions of the body? The tips of the fingers, nipples, tips of the fingers, and even nipples, even lips, glans, penis, even palms, arichethulu, soles, and the fingers. These are the highly sensitive regions. The number of these corpuscles, they decrease as a person grows older. అందుకే వాళ్ళకి సెన్స్ తగ్గిపోతూ ఉంటుంది. ఎల్డర్లీ పీపుల్కి, ఓల్డ్ పీపుల్కి సెన్స్ తగ్గిపోవడానికి రీజన్ అంటే ఎందుకు సెన్స్ తగ్గిపోతుంది? సెన్సిటివ్ టు టచ్, ఈవెన్ అదర్ సెన్సెస్ ఆల్సో, ఈవెన్ విజన్ బికమ్స్ వీక్. Hearing also, hearing defects also occur in them. Reason is, as they become older, the corpuscles, number of corpuscles ante they have in connection with the nerve fibers. In number of corpuscles తగ్గిపోతే nerve fibers reach అయ్యే places కూడా తగ్గిపోతాయి. So the transmission to the body will also be decreased. Transmission of these signals, the stimuli, will be decreased. These corpuscles sensitive to the strong and these are very strong. These corpuscles are very strong and sustained contacts like pressure, and these are situated in the deeper dermal regions and they called Pacinian corpuscles. Indaka Meissner's corpuscles annamu. Meissner's corpuscles, they are the sensory parts of the sensory receptors of the touch. Alage pressure ki, touch is like this, pressure is we feel somewhat squeezing effect, pressure. The receptors of the pressure are situated in the dermis called the Pacinian corpuscles. Ikkada Meissner's corpuscles are associated with simple touch, whereas the Pacinian corpuscles are associated with pressure and pain receptors. Next is pain receptors. First is touch receptors, touch, simple touch and pressurized touch. Simple touch, the receptors of simple touch are situated in the dermis, are Meissner's corpuscles, and the touch in the form of pressure is received. The signal is received by the Pacinian corpuscles. Pain receptors are called Algesi receptors and numerous branched sensory nerve fibers are scattered among the skin and epidermis as well as in the dermal cells of the skin. And these receptors, they have naked nerve endings. Prati receptor ki kuda nerve ending, nerve connection అనేది కావాలి. ఎందుకంటే nerves only transmit these signals ట్రాన్స్మిట్ చేసేది nerves. సో nerve ending తో కనెక్షన్ ఉండి తీరాల్సిందే. ప్రతి సెన్స్ ఆర్గాన్కి nerve ending తో కనెక్షన్ ఉండి తీరాలి. ఎనీవే, these nerve endings are sensitive to chemical, electrical and mechanical stimuli. Electrical stimuli ante nerve fibers that carry the signals in the form of electrical signals. Alage electrical signals are nothing but like electron movement అని చెప్తాం కదా. అలాగే chemical signals ante in the form of hormones and even mechanical stimuli, that is external, which cause the sensations of pain in the body. These are Algesi receptors, pain receptors present in the epidermis and dermal cells of the skin. నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్లో ఇంకా మిగతా రిసెప్టార్స్ గురించి మనం డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. మిగతా రిసెప్టార్స్, మిగతా గ్లాండ్స్ అండ్ ఈవెన్ సెన్స్ ఆర్గాన్స్ గురించి మనము డీప్ డిస్కషన్ చేద్దాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ.